Chivo's memories were also gradually resurfacing.
Do you remember something?
I remember you wrote your number in my palm.
Yes, you didn't remember wrong.
It seemed he had already started. He began to recall all his memories of Saxon, and he did visit his past universities like harder, also faced pretty problem then. It turned out that Sato's strength and character had completely changed after coming back late. This led to a severe decline in Advanced performance. The upper management was ready to replace the uncle president. Unexpectedly, the employees who used to dislike him started to speak up for him. Because the uncle's fate had already brought up closer, then the uncle returned to the office. And Bob accepts Sato's favorite song. However, when he opened his eyes again, that moment, the uncle seemed to suddenly turn back into the long last section. He stepped out of the bank with a determined stride. Under the days of many employees, then he came before his superior and resumed his previous season's stake. His strong moral astonished the other party. Good job, kid. The capable Saxo is back. After returning home, Violet found her father-in-law had acute pneumonia. But no place heard enough at Saxon for help.
When the doctor asked the family to sign,
Saxon rushed up in shock. Does he usually call for blood? No. Saxon rushed over upon seeing this. Does he usually call for blood?
No. But he did have acute pneumonia 8 years ago.
then let's have the patient's son sign.
At this moment, Mylan was fully convinced of the man's identity. She was anxious for her father to take care of himself. Saxon, also worried about his health, couldn't hold back anymore.
Don't you remember the first day you went to elementary school? Did you fall and end up in the hospital too? And Dad? Can't you drink glass?
Seeing his father's indifferent gaze, the uncle had to reveal his identity in front of the family.
Actually, I am your son, Saxon.
And I said I had some issues to resolve now. After that's sorted, I will return to my family. Unexpectedly, his father said he didn't need to come back. Father hoped his son, who had suffered all his life, would simply live on as a wealthy heir. If he comes back, it would be very unfair for the family of this body. And their dialogue was overheard by Mylan outside the door. Though she understood her father-in-law's kind intentions for his son, she still felt particularly wrong. Mylan then questioned the uncle, why didn't you admit her identity last time? The uncle said he not only has his own memories, but also possesses all the memories of Seo's Exum. He asked Mylan to give him a bit more time. After resolving the issues, he would naturally return.
Why are you still concerned about the family's woman and children?
Because I am also the head of that family.
Maya was immensely angry after hearing this, but she felt there's no reason to refute her. Evening, Melissa was sorting her husband's clothes after the marriage. That moment, she heard her husband's phone ringing. Upon checking, it surprisingly showed that it was his wife's call. Glanced at the dressing table. The phone was clearly right there, so she forced herself to calm down and answered the call.
Why aren't you saying anything about answering? Dad, Jisoo.
Honey. Melissa was immediately startled and flustered. She hurriedly picked up her phone and called her husband. She found that her husband had saved her contact as dead. Although Hosan already understood everything, she still put the phone back to its original place, pretending nothing had happened. That night, Hosan couldn't fall asleep for a long time. Thoughts about her husband's strange behavior kept flashing in her mind. She somewhat doubted if the man might not really be her husband. But had to live with this man day and night, Hosan was unwilling to accept the reality. Painful memories made her restless and leave the room. She spent the night curled up in the living room. Meanwhile, the uncle also tossed tantrums, unable to sleep. He wanted to think of a solution that could satisfy both sides, to ensure both families wouldn't be hurt by him. But Mylan had already made up her mind. For her and this family, she had to reclaim her husband. The next day, he called Ashwai and learned that the uncle is going at Hosan's supermarket. At this moment, the uncle is getting ready to finish work. Noticing Hosan's expression suddenly seemed off, he turned around and realized Mylan was also here. The uncle instantly felt very awkward. When the two women met, the tension was palpable. Mylan approached and suggested they have dinner together. But Hosan was not willing to back down. She stepped forward and invited her husband for lunch.
You must be hungry, right? No, you're not going. Do you dare to try? Let's go.
The uncle felt stuck in the middle. He stated that they could all have lunch together. Thus, the most awkward meal in history was born. The colleagues curiously asked, what is the relationship between Mylan and the uncle?
Actually, everyone still doesn't know. If I spoke out, it would surely shock them. Our relationship is very special. That's just your imagination.
The two women spoke, leaving no room for each other. The uncle felt like he was sitting on needles. So he learned that had a bank issue and hurriedly escaped this suffocating place. Before the uncle even made it to the company, he received a text from Huazan.
Come home early for dinner tonight. We need to talk.
Just as the uncle was about to agree, Mylan actually sent a message to the uncle.
Come over for dinner tonight. The child misses you too.
This put the uncle in a dilemma. This moment, Mylan was diligently preparing the dish her husband loved most, and told her father-in-law that her husband was coming home for dinner. Meanwhile, Hyans asked her mother-in-law to take the child out for dinner. She carefully prepared Western food at home, waiting for her husband. After cooking, both women tenderly prepared themselves. At this moment, the uncle finally made up his mind. He first went to Hyans' place,